I am never going to play Sonic Forces as it was ever again, I'm pretty sure. Unless there's like a morbid curiosity that takes over my body and I become a different man entirely. Look, man. If you see Sonic Forces pop up in the bottom right corner and it's like Sendo DX is playing Sonic Forces on Steam, just look me in the eyes, listen to me right now. It's never based Sonic Forces. It's always Sonic Forces overclocked. This is a mod that effectively fixes everything that people complained about with Sonic Forces. Narratively, I'm not sure. I'm not really paying too much attention to the narrative in this. I feel like, for me, when it comes to the writing and voice acting, it does feel very... You know, I mean, it's a fan project, and it feels like a fan project in a lot of ways, and I'm not, you know, trash-talking anybody when I say this, but it takes me out of it a little bit, and I've also never been one for, you know, paying attention to Sonic stories in the first place, so that's not something that I really feel this game has over Sonic Forces, just because I'm not really paying attention. This is not a quality evaluation of either of those games narratively. I'm just not paying attention. So before you hop in asking me to talk about the insane narrative that's going on here and how it's so much better than Sonic Forces, buddy, I was not paying attention. I'm here to talk about the game and the gameplay, and let me tell you, dude, I genuinely think, without any shadow of a doubt in my mind, that this is probably one of my favorite Boost Formula fan projects that I have ever played, period. It understands so well what works in Boost Formula levels to an insane degree. And I love it. I've heard criticisms here and there about, you know, oh, it feels very reactionary, and, you know, it feels like there's always like a very set number of things that, set number of objects you're going to interact with. You're going to be sliding, you're going to be homing attack chaining, you're going to be, but like, I kind of love it. I kind of love that there's this somewhat binary set of interactions you can take, and it's all about reacting really quickly and really well to oncoming obstacles. I love that. That's one of my favorite parts about Boost Formula games in general. Yes, it's a little less platforming heavy, but also I don't really care. I love this kind of reactionary gameplay that you get from the Boost Formula series, and I think this game does it really well. So well. And there's also like sections of platforming here and there. You can kind of check this out. You're jumping on platforms. It's the same thing, man. But like, this game does it so right. This game does it so unbelievably right. And if you haven't played this before, and you for some reason hate yourself enough to own Sonic Forces on PC, you know, even as someone who's not like a massive hater of Sonic Forces, I think it's mid as shit, and that's probably the nicest thing I can say about it. Like, come on, just buy the game one more time when it's on sale for this game, all right? Just for this little fucking mod. Like, just do it, bro. Just do it. It's so fun. It's so unbelievably fun. All right, glazing is out of the way. Glazing is out of the way. I love these stages. I don't think there's a single one I've run into that I don't really fuck with, and I think it does a lot of things better than Sonic Forces. I do want to say, I think a lot of my more interesting and nuanced opinions on this game come from potentially a realm of criticism, if you will. And that's not me, like, I'm not talking shit when I give criticism. This is insanely well put together. This is one of the best fan projects you could ever possibly play, all right? Alright, if I buttressed it enough, I do think there are some issues this game introduced that were not present in base Forces, particularly when it comes to movement. I think the one that really irks me and makes it hard for me to go for S ranks on a lot of stages, I feel like the homing attack reticle is very fickle. There are times where it works, and there are times where it doesn't, and I'm not entirely sure what situations make it work and what situations make it not work. Like, I will see something on screen I know I can homing attack onto, and if it's just slightly above my head, it just won't, no homing reticle. I can't homing attack onto it. And it's very weird. I think that in particular makes interacting with things you can home attack onto, it just does not feel reliable. I've never been able to kind of pin down why it works that way, if that makes any sense. So it feels less like it's a change made to the Forces system that you have to get used to, and more so a change that just doesn't make any sense, and is not something that you can easily pick up on. Beyond that, the air boost has also been changed, and I'm not a fan of what they've done with it. Effectively, depending on, I think it's like depending on where you are in your jump, it'll either go up or down. The most consistent way I've found to deal with it is if you do a double jump and then air boost, you will get an upward air boost. If you do a normal jump and then an air boost, you will get a normal air boost that kind of just shoots you forward and a little downwards. So I don't like that. I get it makes it kind of like a more interesting, I guess, ability. You know, in Sonic Forces, you would always just jump in the air and you'd get an air boost and you'd always go up. And like, I get it, that's kind of overpowered. But I love that air boost. Sonic Forces, if it gets a million things wrong, it got that right. I love that upward air boost, and they kind of just tinkered with it in a way that also feels a little bit finicky here that I just don't enjoy. Sometimes I'll go downwards and I don't know why. I don't know if it's like I'm not holding the button or something. I don't know. I have not, after messing around with it for a while, been able to figure out exactly why it works the way it does, and I just don't like the change period. I don't like that I have to double jump to get the upward air boost. I don't like that, you know, just boosting after a normal jump, boosting will give me the, I guess, the Unleashed in Generations air boost. I just kind of like it to be consistent, right? I think that's a little too many variables to keep track of. That mixed with the fact that homie attacking in the reticle is just so weird. I think that makes air movement in this game and chaining things in the air a little weird and finicky. If I had to complain about one thing, it's that. Now, hear me out. They did alter the movement and the models and like everything else about this game to the point where it is just vastly better than Sonic Forces in pretty much every other way. You know, despite the fact that it did introduce some new things that weren't problems in Forces, I think that overall it feels better to play in general. I would pick this and its little weird quirks over baseline Forces movement any day of the week. So that's a win. That's a massive W, and I'm not gonna sit here and do too much shit talking because, like, look, man, if you make the movement better by magnitudes and then you introduce weird little you know, pebbles of shit in there, I'll take the little pebbles of shit instead of the whole fucking pile. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, if it's like some speckles here and there, yeah, I'll take the speckles, bro. The speckles are at least better than shoving the whole pile in my mouth. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'll take it, bro. I'll take it. The small things are small, and I don't mind that. And everything else that this game does right is just it outweighs it so much. Speaking of what this game does right, this zone, bro, is so cool. And everybody, when they return to, what is it? Not Starlight Carnival. Is that it? No, Starlight Zone. When they return to Starlight Zone and fan projects, you will see people take the aesthetic that was introduced for Starlight in this game, and they will use that aesthetic. This game, this fan project is prolific enough and good enough to have other fan projects taking its aesthetic, because it's just that good. It's one of the best iterations of Starlight that we've seen in 3D. Like, that's insane. That's actually insane. And I'll glaze it for that, bro. I'll glaze it for that any day of the week. And there's so much cool air stuff here. You can immediately see, yeah, all right, this isn't Sonic Forces, bro. There's so much stuff here. Alternate pathways, man. That's all I need. That's all I need. And these stages, the length is good too. You know, we've seen a lot of, oh my God, we've seen so many Sonic fan projects that don't understand boost formula stage length, right? Where they make these stages so long, like 8 to 9 minutes long. Even like, dude, 7 minutes is pushing it, but like 8 to 9 minutes long. We see these fan projects that think, you know, more is better. And this game doesn't really fall into that same boat. It's very much like, okay, we're gonna make really solid content. We're going to make it close to the quality of other boost formula games, and they lock it in, bro. They lock it in. I don't know what happened here, by the way. Don't blame me. I should have hit the fucking no, not my bad. It's the springs' fault. Yo, the springs, bro. It's not my bad, bro. But like, genuinely, I think this feels almost official, and that is one of the highest praises that I can give to any fan project ever. Playing the game, the actual gameplay experience feels near official. And even like the story content, which I do think feels, you know, amateurish, it's still so ambitious and high quality, and there's so much going on here that I think is just working in the game's favor. And a lot of people like will adore, you know, the fan writing and the fan voice acting, and it's just mwah, mwah, mwah. There's so many things to like. There are so many things to like about this game, and it does so many things right. And if you take away nothing else from this video, all right, there's 2 things you need to know. 1, I be sucking on this game's dick like nobody's business. I am its #1 glazer. Sonic Forces Overclocked is fire. I know I gave out a lot of petty grievances about the movement that can make it hard to get S ranks, and I get it, but that's stuff that I can slowly but surely get used to dealing with on S rank runs, even if it feels kind of random sometimes, you know? But like, the second thing you need to take away from this is if you can see a world in which you buy Sonic Forces on PC, just do it when the game's at like 2.5 cents, because at the very least you get this experience, which is, in my opinion, well worth like $5. If you can get Sonic Forces for $5, then oh my god, by golly, by gosh, that's the whitest thing I've ever done in my life. Just do it. Just do it. Get the game. Listen to this cracker, what he tells you. You definitely should get the game just for this on its own. It's so worth it, man. One thing I guess I want to toss in at the end here too. This is something that I've seen like irk people before, so that's why I'm throwing it in here. When it comes to voice acting during stages, I think it would be nice to have an option to turn that off, because I had a buddy who ended up trying to play this game. He had Forces on Steam for whatever reason, and he downloaded this mod, and he was getting really into it, and he just did not really like Sonic's voice acting. Yeah, again, not shade at the voice actor for Sonic. It's just something that wasn't his cup of tea, which, you know, that's fine. You know, voice direction for characters is not necessarily going to fit with everybody. It is what it is. And he wanted to turn off the voice acting just so he could try to S-rank the stages and, you know, not have to listen to the beginning dialogue every time he started up the stage. And he couldn't do that. And that turned him off a little bit from trying to get S-ranks. So that should also probably be an option. Again, not trying to talk bad about anybody who put their heart and soul into, you know, voicing these characters, because you can tell there's a lot of effort put into these guys, and just, it should be an option. I think more options are better, and this game is still getting actively updated, so like, why not, bruh? Why not toss in a little option there? But please, download this game. If you don't have Sonic Forces on Steam, I'm gonna be uploading the entire thing, so like, live vicariously through a man who was dumb enough to buy Sonic Forces twice. I own 2 fucking copies of this game. One on PS4, one on Steam. I have so many problems